today's video. Today I'm going to be pulling out an old painting that needs finishing off, and I'm going to talk about how I achieve what I feel is my colour balance within the paintings. I'm also going to look at a couple of famous artists and how they spectacularly used colour to get wonderful balance within their paintings. So I hope that you enjoy today's video. So I'm just putting my background colour on now. I work in reverse, so often this isn't a hard and fast rule, but artists will work on the negative space, so the background first, and then put the positive spaces, so like the figures in the tree, in, say, afterwards. But the way I work is I want to get really accurate figures, trees, benches, etc., and get the colouring onto them, and also I want to leave an outline around the outside of them, so it's just a different way of working, so it's slightly working in reverse. But what I find is I have to get a lot of the colour blocked in, and then sometimes I'll realise that I've made a few colour errors when I have been putting down my initial colour, say onto the lady or hair, dress, man's clothes, etc., and that I might need to do some adjusting. So this is the point where once I got the background colour in, then I stand back and I look at my painting and I start to really assess the colours, the colour balance, where there's too much of one colour, where there's not enough of another colour, maybe where I haven't repeated another colour, so I haven't quite got that kind of consistent balance across the painting. So what I do is bigger areas get done with a palette knife, the small kind of intricate bits get done with a brush, and then any of the brush marks I can see, as much as I possibly can, I come back over with a palette knife and I smooth out that paint. Otherwise I get different textures, and I want to alleviate that as much as possible. I want it like an overall smooth, even finish. But what I do is then we get all the paint on, which I haven't quite done yet, and then at the end I go through it before the paint starts to dry and just really smooth that out. So I'm going to get the rest, I'm going to get the rest of these white areas in, and then I'm going to come over with my palette knife and just smooth out all of that paint. So I've got this far with this painting, and I just want to show you my kind of part of my process, and this is how I end up getting my colour balance. So I'm aware that the minty blue wasn't anywhere else, so I've started to I painted one leaf, I'll paint a few more in a minute, and I may make some same colour but just slightly lighter versions of it onto some of the leaves, and it was just starting to feel a bit pink, like really pink, the painting, and I do like a bit of pink, but there was too much pink going on. So there was pink leaves, and then there was pink tree, pink bird. His hat is in the pinkish tones, sort of pinky tones down here, browny pinks again. It just felt, a bit overkill. So there's little other bits like his hat is really close in colour to his hair, and it kind of feels like a bit too similar. So I'm going to change the colour of his hat a little bit. I may change the colour of the bird, because again I'm still feeling like maybe we're kind of a little bit heavy on the old pinkishness, and I will kind of take it from there. I'm going to put some sort of pattern on her skirt, but I'm struggling at the moment with knowing. I'll probably end up with more polka dots, like that's what I usually do. Sometimes I like to do other patterns, but I always come back to polka dots as being a firm favourite. Anyway, I will show you a bit more of this process and let you know where I've got up to. And also I kind of feel like there's not enough leaves in the trees, it looks a bit bare over this side, so I'm just going to add a couple of extra leaves. I'm going to put some sprinkly stars in the sky. I often put a little crescent moon in my sky, but I don't know whether this painting really needs it because the tree's coming over quite far and there's maybe not as much negative space, and it feels like there's quite a lot of busyness going on already in this painting, so it may not add a moon, but I will add some stars into the sky. And otherwise, so see, I'm talking about colour balance in my painting, but I just wanted to show you an example. Is this beautiful painting La Désert by Matisse, and there's a lot of balance going on in this painting. See, it's very dramatic. There's a red tablecloth that matches the wallpaper, and then he's just done this little building over here with no detail and just a pinkish tone, which is a lightened version of this, and he's repeated the blues on the pattern in the sky, and then he's done the complementary colours, and so you've got this block of green here, and then there's just little elements of the green over here that balances that out. The yellow on the fruit, there's a few little yellow flowers in the field, and there's also a few teeny tiny speckles of the blue suggesting flowers as well. Then you've got the black and white of the maid's outfit, and obviously you've got a blacky grey in this pattern as well, and then the black and white is echoed over here in these tree forms. And you've also got a little bit of an echoing of pattern. You've got these little spriggy flowers here, you've got a little bit of that sprigginess going on in the trees, and a little bit on the flowers on the ground. You've also got pattern sort of balance as well, and you've got these curved, delightful curved patterns in the wallpaper on the tablecloth, and you've got these lovely curved tree shapes which kind of echoes this, so it's very, very carefully thought about, and there's some amazing colour balancing, and yeah, I mean, it's just very, 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 very cleverly done. So I just look at how other artists balance colour, because it's a really good way for you to learn more about this, and also just sort of noticing some other elements now. So this yellow ochre of the seat of the chair is balanced with a few of the fruits are in that colour as well, and obviously you've got another chair here, so again this colour is repeated, so there's a bit of colour balance going on there. So you've got this painting by Grant Wood, and it's really interesting. Again, it's quite a limited colour palette, and you've got lovely bits of colour balance going on. So you've got this gorgeous sort of corally red on her brooch that's echoed on the shed, and you've also got the black against the coral, and you've sort of got the black against the coral. You've got teeny tiny touch of that coral up there on the roof, and you've got lovely echoes, like the colour of her hair is echoed on the blinds inside the windows. You've got his sort of blues in his dungarees echoed in the sky. There's the sort of colours in the blinds here that are echoed in his stripes, and obviously there's also aspects of that, little touches of that in the foliage as well. You've also just got that little kind of echoes of patterns as well. You've got the pattern on her dress, and then you've got the pattern in the curtains in the window, and also you've got a lovely balance with the brown and the brown of his eyes. And obviously you've got the blue of her eyes echoed in a few places as well. So a really limited colour palette, but just lovely colour balance going on. Okay, so I've changed a couple of other little bits. I changed the colour of his hat, but the colour balance feels much better now. Changed the colour of her gloves because they were very pinky, and sort of made them kind of a similar tone to his trousers. I kind of felt that because she had a lot of spots on, there were some spots on the bird, I just quietened down the bird's wing and lightened it, and just got rid of the sort of dotty spottiness that was on there. A couple more minty leaves up here, and obviously went for a whole polka dot ensemble here. And then the one thing I still got to finish off is just that little corner up there. I had a couple more leaves, but I need that brown paint to dry before I can add a colour on top. But this is where we're up to, stars in the sky. I decided to not put the moon in, I felt like there's enough going on. So I kind of, apart from those couple of little leaves up there, it's kind of done now, I think. But I might change my mind. So just a last little look at this painting. Added a pattern onto his waistcoat and finished those little leaves up in the tree. I might just put a couple more stars when that patch dries up in the right hand corner. But otherwise that feels finished now. I did wonder about putting something else onto the bird, but I just tried it, didn't like it. I think I'm just going to leave the bird plain. We've got double dots, we've got a lovely waistcoat now, fabulous stripy pants, and that's feeling much more balanced. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and that it's been helpful. Please do like, subscribe and press the notification button if you'd like some more content. But for today, thank you for joining me and I hope you'll join me again soon.